Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. Today we are going to be doing some more Pretty Little Liars conspiracy theories or theories. And these are a couple of new ones that I have found. They're not necessarily tied into an episode or a season, it's just more theories in general of the whole thing. So hope you enjoy. So the first theory I'm going to talk about is Caleb being Uber A. And I personally don't believe this one, not because I like the character Caleb or Tyler Blackburn in general. It's more because it doesn't seem like he's the type of person to do something like that to the girls. Yes, there's a lot of evidence surrounding it, like I'll get into it in a bit, but I just don't see him doing that. I don't picture him sat there doing that and acting all innocent. And the evidence behind this shows that there are two things that AD has in common with Caleb, and it is that you have to be very good with tech, which he is, and that he would have the motive. I personally don't think he would, even though it says, well, maybe he saw what the made Hannah trust him to tell him all of her secrets, and then kind of thought, after this A thing I can take it somewhere, and became Uber A. And that's really the only type of theory that we have and evidence behind that. Otherwise, I don't think his character would necessarily do that to the Liars, even though he does act sketchy in like the first couple of seasons, and that's why I didn't really like him as much. But now I've got to know the character, I personally don't think it could be him in any way. Yes, he does have a tech career. He is good at hacking. He has done a lot of work like that in the past, which is kind of how he first started. But otherwise, I don't think this one is possible. My next theory is going to be about Bethany Young. And although we have not seen very much of her at all, we've only seen her in one flashback, and that was the night that Toby's mum died. Otherwise, we haven't seen her in the flesh, like sneaking about anywhere. So even though we hear her being talked about a lot by the Liars over and over again, leading everything from Uber A back to her saying, oh, it could be Bethany Young, even though we're pretty sure she's dead. But otherwise, you never know. In PLL, you need to see the body to believe it, because obviously that night that Alison died, it wasn't actually Alison. So this is kind of just a base around theory in general. Not much evidence surrounding that she is still alive, more than just we never saw her die, and we can't be sure. And if she isn't, my question is, who is in that coffin? And I don't know if they will explain that, but maybe because there's only 2 episodes left when I'm filming this, so it doesn't seem like there's much time to say Bethany Young's alive and then explain it. There's not much time to do that. So that kinda has to be debunked a bit. So you never know. It could be, it could be not. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is Alison having a twin, and it's kind of the same as the Spencer one. But as we know, Marlene King hasn't stuck to the books. And from when we found out Mona was the first A, that was found out in the 4th book. So it is very possible that Marlene King's kind of gone in different directions for small little things, and then kept a couple big chunks of evidence and theories and kind of possibilities aside to put in. So the first one was Mona being the A, and the second one might be Alison has a twin, because we all know, I don't know if you know about this, but a couple of people know that in the book, at the end it gets revealed that Alison has a twin called Courtney, and so this is where everyone's looking out for a twin. If it's Spencer's twin, if it's Alison's twin. I personally think it could be an Arya twin, because I saw this picture somewhere on Instagram, I'm not quite sure where, in the background of Arya talking to Byron, if they zoomed in the corner, you could see an ultrasound, which looks like two babies. So maybe Arya has a twin, a brother or sister. But then also you saw in the back of Alison's room on the wall, there's a picture of two blonde girls, and how in the Halloween episode there was Alison or someone talking about a horror story, and that there was two blonde girls. So where do them two blonde girls come from if it's not Alison and her twin? And maybe she's retelling a story that she did as a kid, which is very possible, because that family has kept a lot of secrets. So it's possible that there is more secrets to be solved in the next two episodes. But I think people are just really looking out for twin theories because of the books. As we know, I read somewhere that the difference between the books and the film, well, not the film, the series, is that Caleb never existed in the books. Toby Kavanagh died in season 1 of a suicide drug overdose, and you see him now through 1 and 7, and he's not dead. And at the moment there is a museum, which I just want to talk about briefly, in the Warner Brothers Studios lot, where people can go see all the things from PLL, as in Alison's yellow top, the masks, all the A's, all the costumes, everything. And there's a memorial booklet that says "In Love in Memory of Toby Kavanagh" with a picture of him. And then I looked at that and I thought, he's never been dead. So the next theory I'm going to talk about is the lairs killed Alison. And you may think, well, she's still alive, or they tried to at least. So the night that Alison went missing, all the girls were in the under the age of drinking, and how Alison said that she chose them, they're the chosen ones, which kind of seems a bit sketchy now. And that how we know the lairs aren't called liars for a reason. They're called liars for a reason. All the lies that they've told about people or things and not told the truth. So they are called liars for a reason, which I've already said twice, but it just doesn't seem like just a coincidence. So maybe they attempted to kill her that night, didn't succeed, and decided to make this elaborate plan, saying, oh, she went missing, and that they were in the barn all night. And now, as we know, Spencer was the one to leave that night, and how we know that she was under the influence of medication. So maybe they tried to kill her, didn't succeed, knew that she would find them, and then Alison ran off, came back 2 years later in New York. But it's possible, because the lairs do have a past with Alison, and saying, she always forced them to do things, so maybe that's their revenge of teaming up and saying, don't want you anymore, bye. And how Alison, I've noticed that Alison's she's not acting weird, but she is acting weird around the girls at the moment. So I don't know if it's something that the writers don't notice, and that they don't see it comes off like that, even though they probably would. But it's quite possible. So I don't know. Not a lot of evidence. Only a couple of people I've only just found out about this. So really, it's only a small chance of it being true. So my final theory is that Melissa could be AD and could be the unknown twin of Spencer, and that makes them they are sisters if that is true, and they're not just adopted sisters kind of just brought together. And it goes really deep. Maybe that she is AD and Charlotte's killer and is doing things that AD would doing things to the lairs to cover up her murder, that she committed a murder basically, and kind of covering her tracks to kind of steer it away from her, to make her look innocent. And we know that she's going to come back, but we've not seen her in 2 seasons, so it's quite possible that she could be behind the scenes, and kind of steer it towards Spencer as revenge maybe, or steer it towards one at Lairs if she has some bad blood with them. It all depends on what. Sorry about that. But we always know that AD has at the moment been transferring board game to house. So kind of like how it turned up from the barn where Spencer lives to Alison's house without anyone seeing it, which we know the episode before that when Arya put the piece in, but it wasn't at Alison's house. So maybe AD went under one of the tunnels, picked it up from the barn, transferred it to Alison's, and then is kind of going underneath and taking it place to place. So, as I've already covered, that Mona has a copy of the board game. So, maybe she knows where to put it and she's doing the work for AD, or AD is doing it themselves. And as Marlene King has said, you have seen AD before from season 1. So that just makes us think it could be Melissa, because she's been in since season 1, episode 1. So there's a lot of clues surrounding that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and comment down below what you want me to do next. I am going to be doing episode 19 as soon as that comes out, so wait for that. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.